All right, it is 12:40. So thank you so much for attending this webinar, ways to engage with Thurston County Food Bank. Now, even though this is Thurston County specific, a lot of this information is going to be applicable to your food banks wherever you are. So don't be shy or like man because you're outside of Thurston County. In this session, we will share different ways to engage with the food bank. We will focus on reviewing Thurston County Food Bank's programs, volunteer opportunities, and fundraising. So I'm just going to turn the time right over to Amanda to share all of the information she has. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Munoz. I'm the development director here at the Thurston County Food Bank, and that is correct. So a lot of this information, you can apply it to any other food bank, any kind of community feeding program. Will likely have a lot of this happening as well. So I'll try to kind of tailor some of the information to, with that in mind. So specifically to Thurston County Food Bank, we have been around since the 70s. So 1972 is our incorporation year. And oh, come on. There we go. It's a little slow to transition slides. Sorry about that. So our mission is really just to eliminate hunger in the community, in the spirit of neighbor helping neighbor. And so that comes in a lot of different ways. And so that is the neighbor helping neighbor part is really what we'll be talking about today. And some of the things that we really focus on are lowering access barriers, prioritizing health, prioritizing children, rescuing food, and then also partnerships and collaboration. And so you'll see a lot of that throughout this presentation, but I'd be very happy to elaborate if anyone has any questions. And I am also going to try to talk a little slower. I have a lot of information, so so eliminating access barriers, what does that mean? And this is good information in case you know somebody who might be interested in visiting the food bank, because one of the ways to engage is to advocate the services to those who might need it, folks in your community, in your neighborhood, really anyone. It's good to have these things in mind. So we do not require any kind of proof of income. We do not require an ID of any kind. You can come in and do a completely anonymous visit. And the reason we do that, and we are able to do that, is because we are not a county, a state, a government entity of any kind. We are a community organization. And so we don't have to require any of those details coming into our pantry. Any of our pantries or satellites. And we have 2 pantries, one in Lacey and one in Olympia, and 20 satellites throughout the community. And so a lot of larger food banks operate on a satellite model. So this is all information you can access from any food bank's website and kind of see the locations of where you can go. We also offer home delivery for homebound individuals. And then we offer services to help folks sign up for SNAP, CSFP, which is a senior program, and then wraparound social services as well. Please feel free to ask any questions you have as we go through these slides. I'm just kind of providing that high-level overview because, again, part of the work of the food banks and food security is to be a neighbor helping another neighbor. So I talked a little bit about prioritizing health at the beginning, and we do that through through a few different ways. But one of our biggest contributors to that is we have a Kiwanis partnership with the Kiwanis Club of Olympia, and they have 3 gardens that we maintain and grow food, and all of that food comes into our food bank. And so it's locally grown food that is going out to community for free. And that is one way to also engage with the food bank. If you are a grower of food and you would like to donate, most food banks, if not all, as long as they have the capacity, will take fresh grown food, homegrown food. And we have a meeting once a year. We do it in February, sometimes March, where you can learn a little bit more about things to grow for us and kind of how that works. And it helps us plan what we buy. So it is a big deal, and we do appreciate folks who grow food. Another way, if you don't grow food, but you want to help with this particular program, during the summer, we have lots of volunteer opportunities for gardening. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to the volunteer opportunities, but that is another way that you can really get engaged with the food bank. We do offer weekend gardens, and you go out to our gardens and there's different tasks that are assigned. I always recommend, if you want to do that activity, to wear some clothes that you don't love, because you probably will get pretty dirty. um, but it is really fun, rewarding work. And then a little bit more about where we source, where we get our food from. We also do grocery rescue. And so we rescue food. What that means is grocery stores that are going to throw out food will donate that food to us. And it is not expired. And we can prevent that food from going to landfills. And it's usually very good quality food, but it's just food that the restaurants or the grocery stores can't put out to their folks, to people who are purchasing the food. We get big donors include Trader Joe's and Starbucks. And so just kind of fun facts to put out there. Um, so funding and support, we receive the majority of our funding from federal and state support. And we also have private support, and private support looks really interesting. And I do want to run through these ways of supporting, because they're not all in a way that it's not just donating. There are other ways to go beyond donating. Dollars in your account. You can you can connect us with foundations. If you know somebody who's on a foundation board, if you are on a foundation board, connecting food banks, their development directors or their CEOs and executive directors to foundations. That's kind of a fundraising model. You can do a regular donation. You can do a monthly donation. The combined fund drive for state workers has payroll deductions that you can do. They make it very easy. And there's a long list of charities. And so if you have a passion for animals, there's a ton of really great animal charities out there. If you have a passion for feeding your community, then we are on there. There's some other feeding programs on there as well. Stocks and bonds are another way you can donate. If you happen to be fortunate and have those things in plenty in a supply of those. You can donate stocks and bonds. And then there's other things you can do, throwing events at your own agency. And you can do it as a fundraiser, or you can do it as a food drive. But those are just some ways that you can think about engaging in the food bank without having to pull money out of your own pocket, but still finding ways to monetarily support. So again, ways to engage, you can donate your time. Here's some information about our volunteer shifts. You can work at our Olympia Pantry Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Those are the days they are open. And those are the hours. I am fully aware that those are work hours, so that does not work for a lot of folks. Similar to Lacey, it's Tuesday, Thursday. They do have evening hours I actually need to update this slide because it's now twice a month on Wednesdays. We do two Wednesday evening services. So that's a 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. service. And then we also have our warehouse in Tumwater. But if you're looking for something for a large group or an evening, just reach out to us because we have lots of those opportunities as well. We do bagging sessions after hours where people will put together bags for our 4 Kids program or bags for our senior boxes. And so that's another way that you can engage in volunteerism and support outside of our normal business hours. So we have those regularly, but it's just you reach out and we set it up. And then we talked a little bit about donating money. Credit card, cash, payroll deductions are all great ways to donate. RMDs and donor advised funds are becoming more and more popular. So if that's something that you are interested in and want to kind of explore and see if the food bank is a good fit for you, we can always do a tour. And your local food banks as well can do tours so that you can know where your dollars are going towards. And then donating food. This is probably one of the most popular ways that people come together and donate. And there's a list of some items that we typically need on repeat, but there's always themed drives. People do themed drives as well. So they might do a back to school drive where they bring in snack foods only for our kids programs. And so if you want to know more about that, you can go to that website link, or I can provide all that afterwards as well. But yeah, that's one way. And similarly, you can, a lot of agencies, a lot of organizations, businesses will kind of use a couple weeks to set up a food drive, and it'll become a theme. And there might be like a luncheon at the end of it to kind of celebrate. So you can really have fun with it and do what you'd like with that. So a little bit more about us. These are our 3 buildings. And I'm not sure how I'm doing on time because I don't have a clock in front of me. So if I start to go over, cut me off at any time.
You've got about 5 minutes left.
Okay, perfect. So we have the three buildings. Our Olympia Food Pantry. It's a 12,000 square foot facility. That the primary ways to volunteer there, if you're interested in volunteering there, is service floor. So that's what a lot of people think of and like to do when they volunteer at the food bank. They like to be out with the clients. You can check in clients. You can be a station person that helps guide people through the pantry. A stalker, that's my son. He's 15 and he does have to have volunteer hours for high school, but we started volunteering him a few years ago, and he's a stalker. He loves doing that because he's not really a people person, but he likes to have a task and just know what he's doing. So there's a lot of different options depending on your personality type, where you feel most comfortable, and what you would find most rewarding. Our Tumwater warehouse is another place you can volunteer. This one is a lot. You can do large groups here. So if you have like a group you're a part of, an organization, we get lots of Rotary clubs and service clubs, and families will sometimes come in and volunteer together. And so that is a place that you can also have a larger group come in. And like I said, we do stocking. We don't stock, sorry. We sort and package things up, and we will load vans up there. So there's quite a bit to do there. We've got a front desk area that doesn't have a person that sits there regularly, but if we had a volunteer who was very much like interested in answering phone calls, that would be a great spot for them. And then we also have our Lacey pantry, which is the same. It's got Tuesday, Thursday hours, and it offers, those in-person opportunities, those face-to-face with our client opportunities, but also some back-end things that benefit everybody. So here's some pictures and some things you can kind of expect to see. And this is our warehouse. We move about 11 million pounds of food over the year, and we cannot do that without our volunteers. Little bit of our kind of core mission and the pieces that fall into place for that. We have our food service, our client services, and our community services. We do provide food to other community organizations as well. So we partner with a lot of churches and community facilities and things like that. Okay, I'm going to stop and just see if there's any questions. I'd be happy to answer. If so, I will stop sharing my screen. I can get it to come back. Share. Okay.
Did anybody have any questions about anything? Okay, well, thank you for attending the webinar. Our next webinar starts at 1 o'clock, and it is stress hormones and how nutrition helps. And I will put the link to that in the meeting. If you wanted to talk to Amanda or the food bank, tomorrow she will be at our in-person, or I'm not sure if you specifically, but Thurston County Food Bank will be at our in-person wellness fair at Liquor Cannabis Board from 10 to 1. And all webinars, including this one, will be posted on our website, our YouTube page. So if you're in the Olympia area, come visit with Amanda and do puppy cuddles and kitten cuddles and get your flu shot and donate some blood and all the wellness stuff. Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.